Deuteronomy chapter 4. And now, O Israel, hear the ordinances and the judgments, as many as I teach you today to do, that you should live and manifoldly multiply. And entering, you should inherit the land which the Lord God of your fathers gives to you. You shall not add to the saying which I give charge to you, and you shall not remove from it. Guard the commandments of the Lord your God, as many as I give charge to you today. Your eyes have seen all as many things as the Lord our God did to Baal-peor. For every man, whoever went after Baal-peor, the Lord your God obliterated him from out of you. But you, the ones joining with the Lord your God, all live today. Behold, I have shown to you ordinances and judgments, as the Lord my God gave charge to me, to do thus for you in the land into which you enter there to inherit it. And you shall guard and shall do, for this is your wisdom and your understanding before all the nations, as many as should hear all these ordinances. Then they shall say, Behold, this great nation is a wise and intelligent people. For what great nation in which there is to it a God near to them, as the Lord our God is in all things in which we should call upon him? And what great nation in which there is to it just ordinances and judgments, according to all this law which I give before you today? Take heed to yourself, and guard your life exceedingly. You should not forget all the words which your eyes have seen, and let them not leave from your heart all the days of your life. And instruct your sons and the sons of your sons, especially the day which you stood in the presence of the Lord your God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly. For the Lord said to me, Hold an assembly to me, and let the people hear my words, so that they should learn to fear me all the days which they live upon the earth, and that they should have taught their sons. And you came forward and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned fire unto the heaven, darkness, dimness, and a storm. And the Lord spoke to you in the mountain from out of the midst of the fire. A voice of utterances you heard, and a representation you beheld not, but only a voice. And he announced to you his covenant, which he gave charge to you to observe, the 10 discourses. And he wrote them upon 2 tablets of stone. And the Lord gave charge to me in that time to teach you ordinances and judgments, for you to do them upon the land into which you enter there to inherit it. And you shall guard exceedingly your lives, that you do not behold any representation in the day in which the Lord spoke to you in Horeb, in the mountain from out of the midst of the fire, lest you should act lawlessly, and make to yourselves a carving representation, any image, a representation of a male or female, a representation of any beast being upon the earth, a representation of any feathered bird which flies under the heaven, a representation of any reptile which crawls upon the earth, a representation of any fish, as many as are in the waters underneath the earth. And lest at any time looking up into the heaven, and beholding the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and all the cosmos of the heaven wandering, you should do obeisance to them, and you should serve to them, which the Lord your God bestowed them to all the nations underneath the heaven. But the Lord God took you and led you from out of the furnace of iron, out of Egypt, to be to him a hereditary people, as in this day. And the Lord God was enraged with me on account of the things having been said by you, and he swore by an oath that I should not pass over this Jordan, and that I should not enter into the good land which the Lord your God gives to you by lot. For I die in this land, and I shall not pass over this Jordan. But you shall pass over, and shall inherit this good land. Take heed to yourselves, lest at any time you should forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he ordained with you, and you should make to you yourselves a carving representation of all of which the Lord your God gave orders to you not to do. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. And if you should procreate sons, and sons of your sons, and you should pass time upon the land, and you should act lawlessly, and you should make a carving representation of anything, and you should do the wicked thing in the presence of the Lord our God to provoke him to anger, I call to testify against you today both the heaven and the earth, that by destruction you shall be destroyed from the land in which you pass over the Jordan there to inherit it. You shall not delay long days upon it, but by obliteration you shall be obliterated. And the Lord shall disseminate you among all the nations, and there shall be left few of you in number among all the nations, into which the Lord shall bring you there. And you shall serve there other gods, works of the hands of man, wood and stones, which see not, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. And you shall seek after there the Lord your God, and you shall find him, whenever you should seek after him with your entire heart, and with your entire soul, in your affliction. And all these words shall find you at the last of the days, and you shall turn towards the Lord your God, and shall hearken to his voice. For God, the Lord your God, is pitying and merciful. He will not abandon you, nor in any way will he obliterate you. He will not forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore by an oath to them. Ask former days, having taken place prior of you, from the day of which God created man upon the earth, and upon the one extremity of the heaven unto the other extremity of the heaven. Has anything taken place according to this great thing, if such was heard? If a nation has heard the voice of the living God speaking in the midst of the fire, in which manner you have heard and lived? If God tested, entering to take to himself a nation from out of the midst of a nation for a test, and in signs and in miracles, and by war, and by a fortified hand, and with a high arm, and in great visions, according to all as much as the Lord our God did in Egypt, in the presence of your seeing, so as to see yourself that the Lord your God, he is God, and there is not yet one besides him. From out of the heaven he made his voice audible to you, to correct you. And upon the earth he showed to you his great fire. and his discourses you heard from out of the midst of the fire. It is on account of his loving your fathers that he chose their seed after them, you. And he led you himself by his great strength from out of Egypt, to utterly destroy great and stronger nations than you before your face, to bring you and to give to you their land to inherit, as you have today. And you shall know today, and shall turn your mind, that the Lord your God, he is God, in the heaven upward, and upon the earth below, and there is not any besides him. And you shall guard his commandments and his ordinances, as many as I give charge to you today, that it should be good to you, and to your sons after you, so that you should be many days upon the earth, of which the Lord your God gives to you all the days. Then Moses separated 3 cities on the other side of the Jordan of the east sun, for the man-killer to flee there, whoever should have slaughtered the neighbor not knowingly, and this one not having detested him before yesterday and the 3rd day before. And he shall take revenge in one of these cities, and he shall live. Bezer in the wilderness, in the land of the plain of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead, to the of Gadites, and Golan in Bashan, to the Manassites. This is the law which Moses placed before the sons of Israel. These are the testimonies, and the ordinances, and the judgments, as many as Moses spoke to the sons of Israel in the wilderness, in their coming forth from out of the land of Egypt, on the other side of the Jordan, in the ravine, near the house of Peor, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, who Moses struck, and the sons of Israel, in their coming forth from out of the land of Egypt. And they inherited his land, and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, who were on the other side of the Jordan, according to the rising of the sun, from Aroer, which is upon the bank of the rushing stream of Arnon, and upon the mountain of Sion, which is Hermon, all the wilderness on the other side of the Jordan, according to the rising of the sun by Asadoth, the one of dressed stone.